Today we're making pumpkin pie from scratch. The crust, the filling, almost everything is from scratch besides the pumpkin, the sweetened condensed milk, and the spices. So, if you are interested in how to make pumpkin pie, follow along. For the pie crust, you are going to need 302 grams of all-purpose flour, 13 grams of sugar, 5 grams of sea salt, and 1 cup or 226 grams of cold unsalted butter cubed. You're going to throw all of those ingredients into a food processor and make sure they are well incorporated. You don't want to put the food processor on full blast, you just want to pulse a few times until the butter comes out to like little pea-sized chunks. After you give your cute little dog some pets, you're going to dump out the mixture into a large mixing bowl. From here, you're going to mix in a little bit of ice water at a time, mixing with a fork to not melt the butter. You're going to keep adding a little bit of water at a time until it comes into a dough. Shape your dough into a thick circle and then wrap it in plastic wrap and place it in your fridge for at least 30 minutes. Once the 30 minutes is up, flour your work surface and then gently flour the top of your dough and start to roll. You want to roll it out until it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, 1/4 inch thick, whatever you feel comfortable with. I definitely did not roll it out thin enough and my dough was super thick and it took up like half the pie. So I would recommend rolling it out a little bit thinner than you think. A nice tip to getting the dough into the pie tin equally is folding it in half, then folding it in half again, placing the corner in the center of the pie tin, and then just opening it up. Once you've done that, just trim off the edges and crimp the edges or decorate however you want on the crust. Once you're done decorating, make sure to place back in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, if not into the freezer overnight. You want it to be very cold, which I did not do, and you'll see how this looks. Once that's done, place a piece of parchment into the pie and then put pie weights, rice or beans, just so that bottom of the pie doesn't flake up. You're going to bake at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes and then remove the pie weight, put it back in to the oven for about 10 minutes or so, just depending on your oven. You don't want it to be browned, but you do want it to be cooked. If the bottom of your pie is inflated, just poke it with a knife a few times. It should go back down. As you can see, I did not put this pie into the fridge for long enough, so it did shrink and melt because the butter wasn't cold. For the pie filling, I just used the recipe on the back of the Libby's pumpkin. And you're just going to need some cloves, cinnamon, ginger, sugar. Mix that together. Put the pumpkin into some beaten eggs and then add the spice mix and mix together. Then you are going to slowly add in the sweetened condensed milk and then you have pie filling. Okay, so about halfway through here, you can see that my pie tin switched and the pies kind of look different. That's because I went ahead and made a second pie because I was not satisfied with the first one. And also, I got some recipes mixed up. And the second one called for 2 pies, but I only made filling for 1. You are going to pour that filling into that cold pie crust and then bake it at about 350 for maybe 45 minutes, all depends on your oven. I did put foil over my pie crust so it didn't burn, which worked out really well, and this is the final product. Okay, so I wanted to try out some different things with the second one. This first one here only went into the fridge after I put it in the pie tin
for about 5 minutes. Huge mistake. You want to put it in the fridge for a while, if not in the freezer. So you want it to be extremely cold when it goes into the oven. Otherwise, it'll look like this. You'll get major shrinkage here on the side, and the dough itself is going to be half the size of your pie. Granted, I only filled half the filling, so you know, we'll move forward. But this one, you can tell that the pie crust stayed up for the most part, and that it's a little bit thinner on the bottom as well. For both of these, I would have rolled them thinner. Definitely freeze or put your pie dough in the fridge for a while before you throw it into the oven. Okay, well, thank you for... Okay, well, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for next videos, please put them down at the bottom, and I'll see you next week.